Hello friends, Tony Baccigalupo here, and I want to talk briefly about why Zoom and video meetings in general can be a lot to ask of people. There are a lot of things about this that we're not used to thinking of necessarily, so I want to make sure we understand all of the trade-offs of video meetings. First and foremost, the participant has to be in a place that looks nice, and in this COVID era especially, people are not necessarily in the most ideal of circumstances for their work setup, and so people's backdrops might be a place that they might feel self-conscious about. And everybody needs to make accommodations for what's going on during this time and in general when people are working from home. But the more accommodations people need to make, the less comfortable and excited they will be to join for your next meeting or event. And I should mention, this applies to business meetings, but it also applies to event programming, community programming, especially where it's voluntary. So there are a lot of reasons why people might feel self-conscious about that. You also have to be aware of your appearance. And right now, a lot of people are dealing with issues around how they are presenting themselves. They might not have access to the same kinds of grooming and care services that they have, or they might just not be doing so great. They might not be sleeping well, things like that. So being visible on camera can be difficult for people. People have to be in a place where there's good acoustics. And again, that's not something that people necessarily have total control over. Not everybody picked their home to be a great place to work from home, so it could be a noisy environment, could be an environment that's being shared with other people, especially other people who are sheltering in place. So there's all kinds of issues with that that just make video and audio more difficult. And then internet connection. Not everybody is in an environment where super fast, super reliable internet is an ideal option, and they don't necessarily have access to the technical know-how or maybe even the financial know-how or even the internet infrastructure to be able to do video reliably well. Distractions are everywhere. When you are looking at a screen dealing with a video meeting, that means you're also in an environment that you're probably surrounded by the other things that are happening on your screen. There's notifications, there's chats, there's text. You can try to ignore that as best as you can, but it's just coming at you the more that you are staring at that screen. And divided attention means it's hard for everybody to be fully focused on anything. Now again, everybody can learn how to deal with this, but the more load we're putting on people to have to manage these things, the harder it's going to be for them to get excited to join for the next thing. So that's basically what I just said. People have to ignore all these other things that are going on. Actually, this is something else. So beyond the desktop notifications is just everything else going on in life. So if there's other family needs going on, people are ringing the doorbell, delivering packages, if I have a sink full of dishes, these are things that I shouldn't be doing while I'm in a meeting, but the more meetings I have on my calendar, the less time I have to handle a lot of those day-to-day, moment-to-moment tasks. And if you think about stacking this up against even just a phone meeting, where I can put in my earpiece and take care of some other things around the house, makes it a lot easier for me to feel comfortable saying yes to that next meeting, knowing I'll still be able to run around and take care of some other things in my life. And some people, it's important to think about accessibility. Light and sound are an issue, and staring at a screen for a prolonged period of time is not necessarily the most comfortable thing for everybody to do. And on that comfort topic, just posture, being able to sit in one place, position properly for a video screen, and to maintain this appearance of looking good for a camera for a prolonged period of time can be stressful. It can drain the system a little bit, and it can actually be stressful on the body. And so as a result of all these things, a person can feel really drained after a meeting. And I know in my case, I need some decompressed time after pretty much every video meeting I do. I can't just snap right back into productive mode. And what tempts me is that I might use that time to go on social media, get distracted, and the next thing I know, I've lost a bunch of time. And so you have to think not just of the time the meeting takes, but the time people need to get ready for the meeting, and then the time they need afterwards to kind of decompress before they can get focused again. So there's really a lot of effect that a video meeting can have on a person's workday. And then people have family needs to attend to, and so the more that people have other people in their lives that they have to consider the needs of, the harder it is for them to make time for a video meeting. And so, especially COVID era, we have a lot more of that. A lot of people are dealing with, especially parents. Fortunately, there are alternatives, and what I'm arguing here is not to do away with all your video meetings per se, but simply to be aware of the options you have at your disposal and to know what the trade-offs are of the different forms of media that you have available to you. Sometimes there's advantages to video, sometimes video is totally not necessary for the thing that you're trying to accomplish. And so what you can ask yourself is just, do I need to be doing this over video? And how might I use alternatives? And for a meeting, a lot of times it's useful to have face-to-face time to be able to see each other. But how often do you really need that? Could you reduce the frequency of that and still just have as much efficacy? Could you do stand-ups or other kinds of check-ins over an audio call, which makes things a lot easier for people? Or could you even do it over a chat or something more asynchronous, which is even more kind of friendly to people's busy schedules? And when it comes to a social gathering, same kind of idea. I think that there's a lot of untapped potential in audio-only social gatherings and gatherings that are augmented by kind of asynchronous forms of connection. So there's a lot to explore here, and I've documented some of this in some of the resources I've created. I've created some workbooks and some ebooks and some workshops and all kinds of handy resources. So if you check out my social and my website, you can find out about all of those things, as well as in the description attached to wherever you're watching this. So check this out. Let me know what you think. I'm around. I'm Tony Be Good on Twitter, TonyBGoode. And my website is tonybacigalupo.com. That's TonyBacigalupo.com. Excited to hear what you have to say, and I hope you find this helpful. Catch you later.